Hi there.
Hi there.
Hi, hello, I'm back. Thank you for coming back. Today is Tuesday, which is Talking Movies Tuesday. Yeah. And the movie we're talking about today is 13 Ghosts. Oh, love 13 Ghosts so much. But I'm going to try and be as non-biased as possible because not everybody liked it. One of my top 3 favorite movies of all time. I'm telling you right now, so good, but not going to be biased. While I talk about 13 Ghosts, I'm going to do some makeup for you today. I'm just doing random makeup of what I feel like and like ideas. I probably should be doing makeup that relates to the movie, but nah. I'm gonna do this one as before, made by yours truly. You can buy these ones on my Etsy. Caught You Looking Vampire Forehead Thingy-majig. Kind of like out of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer kind of vibes. And I'm going to attempt to do a cute look. Try and make it cute. I always do blood and gore because it's just my forte, but I'm gonna try and be cute for y'all, just for you. Okie dokie, let's go.
Anywhere you go, give it on. Anywhere you say, anywhere you say.
13 Ghosts was released in 2001 in October around Halloween, which is perfect. It was directed by Steve Beck. Steve Beck also made the movie Ghost Ship, which is another one of my favorite movies. But during the time of his release of both of the movies, he got such bad backlash and he thought he was no good at being a director that he completely stopped. He made the 2 movies and just thought, I'm getting bad reviews, I guess I should stop being a director. No, the 2 movies that you've made are one of my favorites of all time, and I'm sure I'm not alone. Anyway, opinions are different and they are accepted. Man, imagine what he could have created if he kept directing. But 13 Ghosts only made 68 million in the box office, which is a lot of money, but it cost 42 million to make. So there's not a lot of wiggle room with paying everyone. And they had the Matthew Lillard, yes, Shaggy was in it. How can you hate anything that Shaggy's in? Let's get to the plot. 13 Ghosts starts off by showing this mean old guy who's trying to collect spirit as if they're goddamn Pokemon. Gotta catch them all. It's for this machine that's powered by ghosts. In the opening scene, the same cranky old guy died like 3 minutes into the movie. He's a bit of a dick, so not sad. And then we cut to a family eating breakfast and they learn that they've just inherited this big ass mansion from who? Their uncle. Ooh. Hold on, I need to get this out of the way. So they go to the mansion that they've just inherited from their shitty ass uncle and they pull up to the driveway and what do they see? The house is head to toe covered in glass. Like everything is glass. The walls, the windows, it's all glass. But the glass has like freaky runes and symbols on it, which like a normal person would see and be like, weird, and kind of like back away from the weird house. Nope, not me, not for me. Bye. But no, this family's like, yeah, free mansion, woo! Let's go explore it right now in the middle of the night. And they go inside, the glass doors, the doors that are made of glass, start moving. And oh no, who would have guessed? They get stuck inside. They're looking around, they're loving life until one of the young kids in the family goes downstairs. And he's just exploring. But he doesn't know that downstairs is where all the bad shit is. These ghosts are. Like, they're just downstairs, trapped. And I don't think they'd be happy. I mean, if I was a ghost and I was trapped, I'd be a little upset. Anyway, they soon find out that the ghosts were collected by their shitty ass uncle. And they try and escape the house. But oh no, blood and guts. Real freaky torso scene that just scarred me for life happens. I will never forget that scene. It is ingrained into my memory. You remember in Inside Out when they have those little islands of everyone's personality? That's my island. That torso that climbs out, that's my island. And the character that Matthew Lillard plays, Shaggy, he's trying to help. Ooh, he's trying. But in the end, some shit happens. Big twist at the end. I'm not going to spoil it for you. You got to watch it yourself because Definitely worth the watch. Even if you hate it, you won't. Yeah, and at the end, everyone maybe lives and goes on and kind of has a happy ending. Now that's the story, but what went wrong? A few. 13 Ghosts is a remake of the original movie with the same name, 13 Ghosts, made in 1960. The director was a man beyond his time, William Castle. Castle? If you're American. Castle. If you're Australian, Castle. No, it's the other way around. Castle. William Castle. William. Now, the reason he was a man beyond his time was because he had an insane idea about showing the film in different colors so that the viewer had to view the film through these little plastic sleeves of color, a red one and a blue one. Kind of like the 3D glasses, except instead of one eye being blue and one eye being red, line of red and a line of blue. It was filmed in black and white. The scenes with ghosts, the ghosts were red, and the scenes without ghosts, they had a blue tinge over it. You could literally choose when you wanted to see the ghosts and when you didn't, which no one had done before. I mean, what an ingenious idea for the 1960s. But with genius can sometimes come insanity. He had a gimmick idea that he wanted to do. He wanted to put, as a marketing tactic, he wanted to put 20 million keys out into the public all around the world. 20 million. That's a lot of goddamn keys. And put them all around the world. Like, that's insane. How would you even do that? You just have millions of workers just walking around the world just like, you want a key? You want a key? Do you want a key? Do you want a key? Sir!
Take this key, sir!
But what were the keys for, you might be asking? Well, his idea was to have the keys all made different, and then one of them would be made so that it would open up a massive haunted house mansion that the owner of the key got to keep. It sounds very, very Mr. Beast to me. He was a Mr. Beast of the 1960s. Luckily, his production team was like, okay, William, you need to calm down. You're up here, which is, we love up there. But let's just, okay? Okay. So that one never happened. Anyway, back to the 2001 production of 13 Ghosts. It had a very tight budget, but had a massive crew for this production. Even though it only had a few characters in the actual movie, the production team was just massive. To put it into the makeup team for 13 Ghosts, had 41 people in it. And if you don't know if that's a lot of makeup artists for a movie, yes it is. Yes it is. 41 people for a production, that's insane. 41 makeup artists. I mean, it does show. I love the makeup work in 13 Ghosts. It's so old-fashioned. Practically smell the latex. It's that old-fashioned. Now back to Matthew Lillard. Matthew Lillard didn't want to get stuck in the horror genre. He just finished Screamed. He loved it, which was good, but he didn't want to get stuck playing horror films for the rest of his acting career. But after reading the script for 13 Ghosts, he absolutely fell in love. Yes, Matthew Lillard fell in love with the script, fell in love with the story, fell in love with his character, just, loved it. Makes the movie even that much more enjoyable. In the movie, there's not a lot of background characters. Like, you'd say little to none at all. And they're only really shown in the first scene, and that's it. The rest of the movie is just main cast only, including the ghosts, the 13 ghosts. And one of the ghosts, specifically the Hammer, he got the role in quite a different... He got the role as the Hammer in the film in quite an unusual way. Now, the Hammer, this dude, the actor's name, Herbert Duncanson. Now, Herbert actually wasn't set to play the Hammer. He was a crew member on set, and he was sort of a runner. Herbert had the job of doing stand-in. He'd stand in front of the camera so that they could position it properly. But when the dude who was supposed to play the Hammer didn't show up, and he just kind of pulled out, our director looked over at Herbert doing the stand-in and doing the shots and went, hey, look at that dude. He's big and muscly. Maybe he wants to do it. So Steve approaches Herbert and he's not in front of him. He's a bit way away and he's kind of like yelling a bit. And he's like, hey, you, do you want to be we need someone to be the Hammer. Are you able to be scary? Just as Steve said that, Herbert took no hesitation, dropped all of his stuff and just ran at Steve, doing this like monster animal growl. I'm not gonna do it because that's embarrassing. And freaked Steve out. He got the role. It's a good idea. It'd be kind of bad if Herbert tried and he just kind of came off as like, rah. I mean, what a way to get a job. Moving on. Something really spooky about 13 Ghosts is that every ghost person has its own backstory because every ghost has an urban legend to it. I loved reading about all the different backstories of these ghosts. It made the movie that much more terrifying because some of these ghosts were no joke. I've chosen three stories that really resonate with me. Now, the first one is about the ghost Juggernaut. His character is shown very early in the movie. He is the last character to be caught before the asshole of a uncle gets... And he's pretty cool looking. I like the makeup. They had prosthetic hands for him to wear, which I did not know. I thought I knew everything about this movie. The Juggernaut story goes like this. He was born with a disfigurement. His big-ass hands. His mum left at a very young age, and when she left, his dad said, wow, son, you've got some big-ass hands. Do you want to come help me in the junkyard? And he goes, sure, Dad. What are we doing? I'm gonna get you to crush cars with your hands. I mean, his hands were not that big. So I'm thinking this story might not be true because what kid can crush a car with their hand? What adult could crush a car with their hands? Have you seen a car? He had these massive clappers. Hulk hands aside, he was a tad different. So because he was a bit woo in the brain, he decided to take out his frustration and his dad did not care. His dad was like, son, you do you. So he goes off hurting these people. But the Juggernaut was not very smart, so he got caught very fast and he was arrested and gunned down in the street and thus created the urban myth of the Juggernaut. Another messed up urban legend that was featured in 13 Ghosts is the Angry Princess, and it stars a girl named Dana. Now Dana was very beautiful, but sadly she was abused. She went to a plastic surgeon and asked to get surgery to make her look beautiful again. Now this surgeon wouldn't say no, so Dana kept coming in for surgery after surgery after surgery until one day she looked like this. Kidding. But no, she looked ratchet. Was not going good. And then one day she goes in for another surgery and Dana goes, what are we doing today, doc? I want to do anything and everything to look beautiful again. And the doctor says, hey, Dana, I've got this really cool idea, but it involves tinkering with your eye quite a bit. And Dana goes, oh, no worry, you tinker away. Oh, I know you're legit. But sadly, the doctor was just as good as Dr. Nick from The Simpsons. And lo and behold, he messed up her eye. Dana woke up from the surgery, looked at herself, and got real sad. Like that was the tipping point? Like a messed up eye? Like none of the other crazy stuff that he did to you? The eye is what got you. Anyway, she hated the way that she looked, especially her eye. And she realized that she couldn't do it anymore. And now her spirit roams. Alright, so the last story is about a little boy and he goes by the ghost name, the firstborn son. The story goes as a little boy, Billy, loved to play pretend. His favorite game to play was Cowboys and Indians. He loved to dress up and play the game with his next door neighbor friend. So his next door neighbor friend comes over. Now, on this particular day, the little boy comes over and goes, Billy, I got a new toy that we can play with. A real bow and arrow with a real steel tip. And little Billy goes, oh, well, I have a toy gun. Let's play Indians and cowboys like we always do. Now today, Billy was going to play pretend and be the Indian and the boy next door was the cowboy. So Billy got all dressed up and comes outside with his fake gun. And the boy next door goes, okay, if you're the Indian, then you get to use the bow and arrow. But Billy doesn't know how to use a bow and arrow. So the boy next door goes, I'll teach you. Who is giving their child a real bow and arrow? The neighbor boy goes, Billy, stand next to the tree and I'll show you. I'm going to fire the arrow at the tree above your head. Neighbor boy shoots the bow and arrow and it does not hit the tree. It hits Billy. Poor old Billy. You're a bloody goose. And that is the story of the firstborn son. It makes the movie so good when it has that much of a detailed background. Just researching each of the ghosts and that they're real urban legends just makes it so much more spooky. And that, my friends, is 13 Ghosts. And that is my look. Cute! I think it's very cute. And as stated before, this one is on my Etsy. If you have any other ideas, I'd love to see what you do with your looks. If you want to do a vampire, if you want to do some kind of alien look with it, I want to see it all. I want to see it all. It's on Etsy at courtyoulooking, and I'm going to put in my vampire tear. Undo my hair, and I'll go take some photos. If you want to see the finished result, see all the photos and the videos I put up, check out my Instagram at courtyoulooking.mua. You'll see all of my photos and videos from this look. I will list all of the products I use down in my bio. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, give it a subscribe, give it a comment, all those amazing things. I'll see you next Tuesday, Talking Movies Tuesday.